Hey guys, everyone remembers how Solana made 1,000 X's in the last bull market. But after the start of the bear market and the FTX crash, the SOL token went into a deep correction of over 96%. As of today, Solana has already managed to surge 200% since the FTX dump. But will the token be able to break its all-time high in the next bull market? Let's get into it. According to the tradition of the Coin Post channel, we will start the analysis of Solana with its rise and fall history, then consider the current situation, and finally analyze the chart and predict its future movement. Solana is a third-generation blockchain which aims to lure the audience of Ethereum to a faster and cheaper network through an attractive blockchain experience. Solana uses a hybrid consensus algorithm that combines proof of history and proof of stake, which developers claim will allow the network to process up to 50,000 transactions per second. In practice, things are less prosaic, but even with all the network's problems, Solana has become a leader among non-Ether blockchains. The birth of Solana began in 2017 when former Qualcomm employee Anatoly Yakovenko published a white paper on the concept of proof of history. Yakovenko then wrote the code for Solana in the Rust programming language with his former Qualcomm colleague Greg Fitzgerald, and in February 2018, Yakovenko and Fitzgerald published the official white paper version of the project and launched the test network. That same year, Yakovenko and Fitzgerald founded the company known as Solana Labs. The project team includes former programmers from Google, Microsoft, Qualcomm, Apple, Intel, and Dropbox. A year later, in July 2019, Solana raised $20 million in funding. The round was led by the powerful fund Multicoin Capital. Even then, it was clear that the project had a future. 2021 was a busy year for Solana. Solana Labs, the developer of the Solana blockchain, raised $314 million in a private token sale, led by Andreessen Horowitz and Polychain Capital. The infamous Alameda Research Fund participated in the same round. Yes, it was Curly Sam's fund from FTX that went down with the exchange last November. In general, there was a very interesting situation with the funds. I would even say a conspiracy, behind which Alameda could be. In 2021, Solana surged 250 times and at its peak reached a capitalization of $80 billion. These unimaginable numbers could not have been created simply because of the technological sophistication and speed of the blockchain. Alameda and Sam were behind the pump. So on January 21st, Sam from FTX posted his famous tweet asking people to sell all their SOL tokens to him for $3 and get the hell out. Even then, Sam saw Solana as a tool for the pump, with which you can make a name, a reputation, and attract an audience to your exchange, which is what happened. 3 days earlier, on January 6, one of the most important events in Solana's history took place. Nearly 400 million SOL tokens, mostly those of early investors and funds, were flattened. At the time, Solana's price was hovering around the $2 mark. It was logical to assume that the funds would start selling tokens, since they bought them for a few cents and could easily get out of the deal after taking hundreds of X's of profit, but none of the funds sold. Also, after that, Solana started to grow like crazy, like someone was pumping it. Now we know who it was and for whose money it was pumped. Then the cartel collusion of funds allowed them to throw SOL by $250, providing fantastic X's for funds that invested in Solana. All went well until November 2021. Then Bitcoin reached its peak and rumors of a Fed rate hike appeared. Solana investors began to sell coins one by one. So in 1 year, SOL lost 86% simply because a bear market hit and punished all altcoins. And then in early November 2022, there were rumors about a hole in the FTX balance sheet. CZ, the head of Binance Exchange, added fuel to the fire by announcing his plans to sell all FTT tokens. As a result, in less than a week, the top two exchanges declared bankruptcy, along with the Alameda Research Fund. Solana suffered the most, as on one hand, its largest fund ceased to exist. On the other hand, FTX and Alameda had billions of dollars of Solana on their balance sheets. The market feared a market-by-market sale of tokens, which would have driven the price lower. As a result, SOL fell another 76% and traded at $8 by the end of 2022. Was it possible to save the cryptocurrency from collapse? And what are the chances of reviving the legendary project? I will tell you next. 2023 began with a rapid growth of Solana, despite all the negativity that poured on the heads of SOL holders. The first to support Solana was Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum. He wrote a tweet praising the Solana developer community and emphasizing that now that the awful opportunistic money people have been washed out, the chain has a bright future. And the icing on the cake was the information that Google has started to buy up Solana. It's not certain that the address you see on your screen right now is Google Wallet, but it's the one that bought out the entire volume at $10. Together, this was the first boost for Sol, resulting in a rise from $8 to $20, almost triple. In 2023, sentiment around Solana became more positive. For example, the Brave browser added support for Solana dApps to its mobile app, and the Helium project migrated to Solana. Some have started comparing Solana at $20 to Ethereum at $80 and predicting its rebirth. We will definitely come back to this topic in the third block, but for now let's see what other important events took place within Solana this year. At the end of June, the SEC sued Binance and Coinbase, accusing 13 altcoins of selling unregistered securities. Solana was one of these altcoins, but it didn't have much of an impact on its price. Initially, the token dropped by 35%, but then, amid rumors of the launch of a Bitcoin ETF and Ripple's victory in court against the SEC, Solana returned to the $20 mark, showing a 2x growth. August 23, Solana Pay, a decentralized payment protocol from Solana Labs, integrated its plugin with Shopify, allowing millions of businesses on the platform to use it for payments. Shopify accounts for 10% of all U.S. e-commerce and $444 billion in global economic activity. This could have a positive impact on Solana's development and the use of its infrastructure in the future. On September 5, Visa, a global leader in payments, announced its next step in modernizing cross-border payments. Visa is extending its stablecoin settlement capabilities to the high-performance Solana blockchain, working with merchant acquirers WorldPay and Nuvei. However, what has been on the agenda lately is not news of major partnerships, but news of FTX's $3.4 billion sale of its assets. Of that, $1.6 billion is still held in SOL tokens, and many fear that this sale will lead to a massive dump in the Solana exchange rate. Is this really the case? On September 13th, FTX received approval to liquidate the assets you just saw on the screen. FTX will be allowed to sell $50 to $100 million worth of assets per day, excluding Bitcoin, Ether, and some insider assets. In general, this is not critical, as the majority of all tokens will likely be redeemed on the OTC market. Therefore, these transactions will not affect the market price. Moreover, until 25th to 28th, 26 million SOL tokens are on the blockchain on the smart contract. In fact, FTX will only sell its private keys, not the tokens themselves, so you don't need to worry about the SOL price dump. All the scary headlines are manipulations to get you to sell cheaper. You're curious about the future of Solana blockchain and what the price of the native SOL token will be, right? While I'm getting to the price breakdown, please support me and the channel by subscribing and liking. Let's start our analysis by analyzing the situation on the daily chart. After the collapse of FTX, Solana has been trading in a long sideways trend with boundaries of $8 and $20. Now, this is a quite comfortable range considering what happened to the project and what the negativity was. But we have to understand, are there any growth opportunities at all? I think there are, and here's why. Ethereum experienced a very similar scenario in 2019. After taking off in 2017, there was a massive 94% drop in price. Many had already buried the slow and expensive Ethereum. The token plummeted to $80. After that, the price traded sideways for more than a year and finally showed 30x growth against all negativity. This is exactly the scenario I expect from Solana. After all, everything is basically ready for a pump. There are big partnerships, a fast network, a convenient design for using the blockchain, and low transaction fees. I have no doubts about Solana's future, so let's take a look at its potential. Traditionally, let's look at a Fibonacci grid to identify key levels. Here we see the nearest strong resistance zone is at $68. That's almost 3 X's from current levels. In a strong bull market, we can expect a price of $400, but only if there's a strong alt season, not earlier than 2025. It is best to wait for such values if you already have free tokens. So if you are a Solana holder, don't forget to take profits from the market when it reaches 2 to 3 times your purchase price. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching your Coin Post.